Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cross Train with James. Today I'm coming to you live from my shed, although it's actually not live, so I have no idea why I said that. I'm recording this video from my shed today, and the reason being is I just got done making some slosh pipes. Now, if you're not familiar with it, a slosh pipe is generally a term for just some sort of piping, usually PVC, that you fill with water, sand, gravel, and you use for various exercise activities. So if you're using water, obviously it'll slosh around a little bit more, and that's generally what you use it for. That's generally what you'll fill it with. Today I actually decided to use sand, but I have used water before. You just generally, if you're going to use water, you might want some thicker PVC pipes. So I went with 2-inch PVC for a 2-foot piece. Then over here I've got, I think this is a 5-foot piece here, yep. And then I've got just the caps on both ends of it. So it's a very simple process. And you can make some decent exercise equipment, you know, that's relatively heavy, especially if you wanted to go up a little bit higher, like 3-inch. If you can see my hand here, again, I'm an average size person, it really grips this 2-inch nicely. 3-inch I can still do, but it just makes the grip a little bit more challenging. And then 4-inch is very hard to grip, but you can make it very heavy, especially if you're filling it with sand. So before I get to my example here, let me just show you some of the completed ones already. So I've got my helpers here today, Paul and Greg. They don't talk much, but they're holding some of what we've already created here. So this is the 5-foot piece here that's full with sand. Now I'm sure you can't hear it, but there's sand sloshing around in here. So what can you do with it? Well, you can do a lot of things. You work on your overhead squat technique with this. Again, it's not crazy heavy. You can do a lot of core twists with this. Like you could do a lunge and a core twist. Not actually going to go into it. You can do curls here for high reps. You can do a lot of shoulder stuff, which is generally what I use them for. And even if you want, you can do some swings with these as well. And they actually work pretty nicely for that. So it's just a great tool that you can make very inexpensive. You don't have to go crazy like I do sometimes, making a whole bunch of them for really nobody but yourself. But anyway, pretty straightforward. So I got a bucket, filled it with some Paver Sand, which I've already done here. One 50-pound Paver Sand bag, which you can get at Lowe's, was able to fill all 4 of these, and I still had some left. So rather than you guys watch me fill this whole thing, I've already filled it most of the way. So what you want to do is, as you're filling it, just repack it depending on how heavy you want. So just tap it on the ground like that, and then you can just make it a little bit heavier as you're moving along. And again, you know, it's not going to be crazy heavy, but if you're looking for something, you know, maybe you can't find dumbbells anywhere. I know it's a little late in the quarantine now and you're starting to see things come back around, but at least what I've noticed, a lot of the exercise stuff has still been pretty expensive. And maybe you just want to have a little fun and kill some time making some of these. So let's get started on capping this thing. Well, let's get finished with capping it, because I've already capped all the ends, right? So it's very straightforward. Like I said in my last video when I was making the medicine ball, I'm not handy, so if I can do this, you definitely can. You just need some all-purpose cement here, some PVC cement right there, and you can get that at Lowe's or Home Depot, obviously. So then I'm just going to coat the inside here. Good, not making sure I don't hit my finger because this will stick to you. Coat around the top here. And then if it's dirty too, you might also want to have some primer in there. I didn't use that today, but you can get by without it. You can hear my Uncle Pete telling me, you got to use the primer. All right, so now we've made it. So I've got 4 here and I can do a lot with them, guys. Again, mostly shoulder activities. I'm gonna borrow this, Paul, thank you. So from here, I can do curls, I can do raises, front raises, and then again, as I'm doing a lot of core stuff, you probably can't hear, but the sand is shifting around in here. So if I wanted to, especially if I filled it with, let's say, water, I could get a lot of sloshing going around, making it more challenging as I'm going through a lot of those more complex exercises, like let's say an overhead lunge or a lunge with a twist. So you just have a lot of great options that you can use with these. So again, you need the most important item here is the PVC all-purpose cement, but it's really not too expensive, about $8 for a small can like this. Then I got for these 2 foot 2-inch PVCs. Those were, I believe, $4.95 a piece, or excuse me, $6.95 a piece, and then the caps were about half of that. So you can make at least a couple of these 2 foot ones here, and these are about 12 pounds when I weighed them. Now that did require me to pack the sand in a bunch. I didn't do that in the actual video, but I kept doing this and then packing it down there to make sure I got a bunch of sand in there. You do have to do that. If you don't, then you can make it much lighter than maybe you originally intended. But you can just do a lot of stuff with it. I'm going to do an arm workout with these later in the week. You just have more options when you're away from the midline of the body. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed everything. You can check out my website, xtrainwithjames.com, for a culmination of all my videos, along with some book suggestions for some good summer reading, although I usually listen to my books on Audible, and some different playlists, which most of you will probably hate my taste in music, but who knows, maybe some of you won't. And then obviously all of these videos in one location, so xtrainwithjames.com. And then I hope you enjoyed the video on how to make a slosh pipe, and maybe you've got some good ideas and some good tools for some new exercise equipment at home. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bye.